Okay, images coming to you live from the CBI court now. On the left, you can see P Chidambaram arriving at the CBI court. On the right there, pictures of that legal team in whose hands the fate, at least for the next few days, of P Chidambaram currently lie. The big wigs of the Congress party, Kapil Sibal, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Salman Khurshid, the big lawyers defending Chidambaram are all visible in these pictures. The CBI court will reconvene in the next few minutes, after which the judge will be reading out his verdict. Anisha, take us through what's happening at the court. I know it's jam-packed right now. Chidambaram has been allowed to meet with his family who are right there with him. Karthi Chidambaram has been praising the court craft by Singhvi and Sibal. What's happening now? Just a few minutes left before the verdict.
Well, yes, Shiv, and Congress General Secretary Mukul Vasnaik and Harish Rawat are here to meet Mr. Chidambaram. They've been allowed to meet him along with his family and friends. We're waiting for the verdict, but we've seen in the last almost 2 hours the kind of arguments that we've seen coming from both sides. Kapil Sibal and the CBI for not taking any action and not actually conducting an investigation. Even Chidambaram himself was given 1 minute to speak by the CBI special court. And Chidambaram also saying that they have not asked me any questions. All they asked me was about my bank account and my son's bank account, and I already gave them that information. So why do they want my custody now? That is the argument, that is the crux of the argument being raised by the defense lawyers, that the CBI has not actually asked him any questions. So why do they need custody? Why are they creating this entire argument that they need custodial interrogation? And in fact, interestingly, Sibal also attacked the CBI for not actually asking Chidambaram questions since last night. They have said, CBI said that he's been completely uncooperative even after during his interrogation yesterday and this morning. Sibal, on the other hand, attacking the CBI on the other hand, saying that last night you did not interrogate him. Last night, this morning also, you said we'll interrogate you in the morning. He was ready at 8 a.m. Your interrogation started at 11:30, and you only asked about 12 questions, about 6 of which were old questions that he has already answered, and there are documentary evidences for. So how is it that the CBI is claiming that they need custodial interrogation? On the other side, the CBI, through Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, saying that we have been waiting to get custodial interrogation, that on the 6th of June last year when Chidambaram was called in for questioning, he was completely evasive, and that we are looking for information that only Chidambaram is privy to. We cannot continue with our investigation without him actually answering our questions.
Okay.
So a lot of to and fro about this entire thing in the court during the argument. And now we're waiting for the judge to come out and pass his verdict.
Okay, the judge is going to be coming out in just a few minutes and passing his order. Stay with us there, Anisha. Anisha's inside court, as you could hear, giving us the full picture of what's happening in court. It's a running commentary that you will have nowhere else but here on India Today, and that too totally accurately, no suppositions, no opinions. We'll give you the facts about what's happening in court. Tehseen continues to be with me. Also with us is Sanchita Gajapati of the BJP joining us live. Just want to get a word in from you, Sanchita, just minutes before this verdict is read out inside the CBI court. The CBI has asked for 5 days custody. The Congress still believes that, this is a witch hunt, this is vendetta, and that even though the CBI has asked for only 5 days as opposed to the usual 14 days, this still smacks of a crackdown based on politics. Sanchita, get a word in and then we'll go to court.
That just speaks volumes about the Congress and the way they look at everything. As a political party, we are very clear. This is for the investigating authorities to look into the whole matter, and it is for the court to come out with a verdict. Whatever their verdict, we will respect. But I think that all of us who are in public life and politics must go that extra mile to cooperate with the investigating agencies, especially if we're convinced of our innocence. I'm not going to second guess what's going to happen. Whatever is the verdict, if Mr. Chidambaram is found not guilty at the end of the entire proceedings, once the whole matter is finished, so be it. But if he's found guilty, he will have to face the consequence of the law. You just talked about how he has this incredible bench strength of lawyers supporting him. I want to say one thing. In the eyes of the law, we're all equal. It doesn't matter who you are, how powerful you are, whether you were the finance minister or the home minister or the law minister.
Yeah.
you are all equal in the eyes of the law. Justice doesn't see who you are, how powerful you are. None of that is relevant. So let's hope that justice will prevail. And if somebody has committed a crime and there seems to be huge amount of evidence pointing the needle of suspicion to Mr. Chidambaram, then one will have to pay for the sins that you commit.
Okay, Tehseen, you want to respond to that? Also, the point that Sanchita makes about how there is a sense of entitlement here. I mean, the Congress is crying witch hunt and vendetta and victimhood here, but at the end of the day, like Sanchita said, the bench strength that Mr. Chidambaram is enjoying in terms of his legal defense is the best in the country. I mean, there is no victimhood to be had here, she suggests. Your response?
Of course, there is victimhood to be had. Having a good bench strength is not an illegal act. It's a constitutional right of Mr. Chidambaram as of any other citizen of India. That can't surely be a reason to prosecute him. The reason to prosecute him is that clearly the High Court order does not say he needs to be arrested. It clearly does not say that he needs to submit before the court. Here was a man who was rejected anticipatory bail. He went to the Honorable Supreme Court, and in the meanwhile, what happened. He was not running away. Sanchita, let me ask you one simple question. You said Mr. Chidambaram was not available for 20 odd hours. I want to ask you what law, specifically Sanchita, what law of the IPC or CRPC did he violate? Why that he was escaping? Give me the law and the section number. Let's forget the rhetoric. Just give this and I will keep quiet. Tell me what law did Chidambaram break? Please tell me that.
Please understand, it is
the law number, please. I request you. I don't want to understand. I just want a law number. You're either pregnant or not pregnant. Either he broke a law or no. Which law did he break? Please tell me that.
Don't interrupt me. I will answer the way I want to answer. Like Mr. Chidambaram has the right to answer the way he wants to answer. All of us have that freedom. So please have the patience to hear what I'm saying. Mr. Chidambaram is well within his right to get whatever lawyers he wants. Nobody is saying that that's not possible. That's well within his legal right. As he has his legal right, the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI also have a duty to perform. They're not going to look at the convenience of a person who's allegedly committed a crime to go and ask him to join the investigation. They are well within their legal rights to ask him and take him in for custody interrogation. This is within the provisions of the law, and Mr. Chidambaram...
I apologize for interrupting you. I'm not asking you that. I am asking you, you said Chidambaram was escaping. I want to ask you which law did he break? Tell me the law that Chidambaram broke. I want to know that.
No, but if his protection from arrest has been taken away by the Delhi High Court, what illegality are these agencies indulging in?
Nothing. But at the same time, Mr. Chidambaram indulged in no illegality. He was not asked to surrender to the agency. Here was a man, his protection was taken away. India Today saw him on Supreme Court, after which he was sitting with his lawyers who testified for it. 12:31, India Today breaks the story and notices put without any section, which is an illegal act, to appear in 2 hours. The man sees the notice in the morning, is in Supreme Court and is before the agency.
Okay.
Now, which law did in this period Mr. Chidambaram break?
Okay.
His phone switched off or him not having a car? Explain to me the law.
Their supporters, they feel that they have special privileges and things should be done as per their convenience. There is nothing that has been done in contra to the law. It was this incredible bench strength that went to the High Court. It was this incredible bench strength that went to the Supreme Court, and we all know the outcome of what has happened. Let us wait to see what the CBI court says in the next few minutes, and let's not rush the matter.
Just one line.
Yeah.
Ma'am, with due respect, I accept everything. I am requesting you for 1/3 time. What law did Mr. Chidambaram break? Let the viewers know this. I accept your point. I will say Mr. Chidambaram is wrong. Tell me the law.
He was asked to appear in 2 hours. Maybe you were not aware of that, but the whole of India saw what was happening. And in
what
your eyes,
law did he break?
Let me jump in here with a question.
In the eyes of the people, it was very disappointing.
The question, the reason why I don't want to make this about politics is we've got the agencies involved. We've got the courts all involved, and ultimately the custody is going to be decided by the court in just the next few minutes. Ankit and Polomi are with us outside the CBI court. They will know best what's going to happen and they will report that to us. I just want to ask you, as far as the political battle that's being waged is concerned, Tehseen, is the Congress a little nervous right now? One wonders that there is a sense that such an audacious arrest has taken place, and this probably means that no one is untouchable anymore. Is there a sense of nervousness about the arrest of Chidambaram?
I don't know if there's a sense of nervousness, but there is definitely a sense of how the law is not being fulfilled in spirit. See, there's something about the spirit of the law which is not being implemented. Having said that, I think this is a great wake-up call for the Congress. The Congress, and I'm a massive supporter of it, of recent has not hit the streets. It is time for the Congress to hit the streets. There are 12 crore people who voted for them. This country deserves an opposition. Currently, Congress was not behaving like this. If this doesn't wake them up, I believe nothing will wake them up.
Sanchita, I want to ask the other question, which is that today two other, so-called people from the opposition fraternity were summoned for questioning today. You had Bhupinder Hooda being questioned by the CBI today. You had Raj Thackeray being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate today. Both are leaders, coincidentally, from states that are going to elections later today. That really feeds the whole atmosphere of vendetta and pressure tactics by the government. I mean, you can't blame anyone for thinking that this vendetta allegation has a certain amount of, weight to it when this kind of thing happens.
Let me make this very clear. It doesn't matter who you are or what your political affiliation is. If you have done anything which is illegal, it is up to the investigating authorities to take action, and you will have to face the consequences of the law. Having said that, if we just rewind to UPA 2, we know the kind of corruption that was there. It was all in the public domain, made very public even by a lot of the people in the media. And these are all people whose names were very much doing the rounds at that time for having done huge illegal activity. They're using their government position. Now it is for the investigating authorities to look into the matter. If they find illegality, they have to go and approach the courts. No government, no party has any role in what the court adjudicates.
One follow-up question, Sanchita. One short follow-up question.
One little point, please. Yeah. If we rewind to what happened when Lalu Prasad Yadav was the chief minister, he used the same kind of excuse, saying, I'm a chief minister, I'm being targeted, I'm from the backward class. But what happened? It was the court that found him guilty.
Yet
no political party can find anybody guilty.
So one follow-on question, which is the final question, and then Tehseen can end, which is that, this is the Chaukidar keeping his promise in many ways, Sanchita. We all heard the Prime Minister earlier this year in April, in February, talk about how, give me another term. I've reached these people till the jail cell. I will push them inside. A crusade against corruption by the Chaukidar. My question to you is, can the BJP also ignore the several tainted people in its fold, people facing corruption cases? The question I'm asking is a citizen's question, which is that, can this be a true movement against corruption if the BJP ignores those who face corruption charges even within its fold? There are people like Mukul Roy, there are people like Yediyurappa, there are several others, many to name. It's a fair question to ask.
It is a very fair question, and I can assure you that it does not matter which political party you belong to. If you're corrupt, if you have done anything illegal, if you have siphoned off public money, you will have to face the consequence of the law. Prime Minister Modi is committed to good governance and clean governance. So it doesn't matter if you're part of the BJP, if you're part of the opposition, that makes absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Tehseen, only early weeks of Modi government 2.0. They've started with Chidambaram. Who knows what comes next? The BJP says it doesn't matter which party they are from. We're going to go after everyone who's corrupt. You think that's going to happen?
I absolutely believe, Sanchita, that Prime Minister Modi is my man and he is my Prime Minister as well, and he's going to absolutely clear governance. Except Himanta Biswa Sharma, when he was in the Congress, was accused. When he's in the BJP, he's not questioned by the agencies. Mukul Sharma was called dirt by Siddharth Nath Singh. Today is a respected member of the BJP. Shivraj Singh Chauhan's name in the CBI is dropped by the CBI. In fact, when Prime Minister Modi was Chief Minister of Gujarat, he had not one but two convicted, not accused, convicted ministers in jail. Babubhai Bokaria continuing as a fisheries minister in jail while he was accused for a fisheries scam, continuing after being convicted. Is the Chaukidar also a washing machine that you put the filth and dirt as Siddharth Nath Singh said, in the BJP washing machine or the Modi washing machine, and they come out clean?
Well, these are, you want to answer that? Yeah, go ahead.
It was
fair questions about Mukul Roy, Himanta Biswa. The sense is, if you don't want cases, you don't want interrogations, you don't want action, cross over to the BJP. There is a sense of that, Sanchita.
It was in the Lok Sabha, if I'm not mistaken. The Honorable Prime Minister was answering a question where somebody asked him, why is it that you haven't put all these people in jail? You go on saying that the opposition is corrupt and you've named many of them. Why haven't you put them in jail? And he correctly answered saying, it is not the job of the Prime Minister or the government or a political party to put people in jail. That is for our courts to decide. It is for the investigating authorities to take action. Unfortunately, we all know that our judicial process is very slow.
Okay.
And when a person is accused, they have access to legal redressal, which also includes delay tactics that very often the defense lawyers use. So I can assure you this. It does not matter who you are, how powerful you may be, what your political affiliation is. You can be the former Home Minister, the former Finance Minister, whoever you may be, a former Chief Minister. If there is evidence, you will be taken to court, and it's the courts to decide whether you go to jail or you do not go to jail.
Those are high words, and at India Today, I can promise all of our viewers that we will be holding the government accountable to the promises that are made. Sanchita, appreciate you saying so, at least saying so, but we will have to see about delivery now in the case. Each and every one of those cases that Tehseen mentioned, and there are many other cases that we will continue to track here on India Today. Tehseen and Sanchita, thanks so much for being with me on 5 Live. Straight back now to the CBI court where Ankit and Polomi are with us live. Ankit, over to you. Only a couple of minutes left. Is there any kind of delay? We're expecting that verdict very shortly.
Yes, the judge had said that 5:30, he had reserved the order on the arguments of the custody for P Chidambaram for half an hour. So it's over that. It could be any moment now. Shiv, it does take some time. After hearing both the sides of the argument from the prosecution and the defense, the judge does apply his mind, and then he'll have to dictate the order. Once the order is dictated, then the judge will come back to the court. Only the operative part of the order would be read. It will be about granting the custody for XYZ days or not granting the custody.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the detailed order would be available on why the judge, in fact, has come to this conclusion later. But we are just waiting at this point of time. This time is being utilized by Mr. Chidambaram to meet his family. Other interesting aspect, Shiv, that in most cases, 99% of the cases, usually the custody is given. Possibly, it will be a highly exceptional matter if the judge says that there is no need for custody. We can't speculate on the order, but I'm just trying to put forward the precedent so far, and it will be interesting to see what in the order, in the detailed order, are the arguments of the judge for coming to whatever conclusion he does after those fascinating arguments.
Okay, fascinating arguments, and we're going to detail those out a little later, including on your show, Ankit. But I just want to also ask you, since you cover the police and the CBI so closely, and as you rightly pointed out, Ankit, that it's highly unlikely, even though we don't want to prejudge or second guess the justice, that custody will be denied. I want to ask you, once whatever verdict is given, if custody is provided, where does Chidambaram be taken? Is he taken back to the CBI headquarters or somewhere else, Ankit?
So this will be what is called a remand or police custody. So if the custody is given to Mr. Chidambaram, Shiv, actually there will be two aspects to it that the defense would also be looking at. The number of days. If 5 days are given, in fact, as it was sought by the CBI, largely the judge has in fact favored the arguments of the prosecution. If the number of days are cut down, possibly there are certain things that the defense would be able to pick up from that. Now, once that happens, because he's in police custody, he will be taken back to the CBI headquarters, and that is where he will be questioned for whatever number of days that the judge decides to give them. After that, the option for the defense team would be to in fact then apply for a bail, for a regular bail. As far as this case is concerned, the arguments on that would also take place. If not today, then whenever in fact they go through with that. And remember, it is very interesting that there was a petition already pending in the Supreme Court, which most likely, so far it has not been mentioned. We did check the Supreme Court website. It has not been mentioned, but it may come up for hearing tomorrow. Whether they amend that and ask for a regular bail or go through the channels of the special court, then the High Court, and then the Supreme Court, all that would be part for the legal strategy of the defense team when they in fact get the judgment and go ahead further.
Incredible. It's, this is, the CBI has asked for 5 days custody as opposed to the usual 14 days, as Ankit very rightly explained that 5 days has been asked for, also keeping in view the cloud of vendetta allegations that have surrounded what has happened in the last 48 hours. Polomi is also with us. Polomi, politically speaking, that one can try, wants to try and separate the legal from the political here, but it's really impossible, isn't it, in this particular case? And it's going to be very difficult for the BJP and the government really to shake off this cloud of vendetta, because that really is the big weaponry that the legal defense of Chidambaram and the Congress are going with.
Absolutely. That is an argument which has been put forward by the Congress party, by all the legal eagles who have been in fact representing the former finance minister in court yesterday, in the Supreme Court as well, when they tried to press for an urgent hearing of his special leave petition. Then of course all through yesterday as well, in terms of that press conference which was addressed, the press conference which the Congress party addressed this morning as well. Their allegation is that there is no charge sheet in this case. Mr. P Chidambaram hasn't been named in the FIR. He's cooperated with the procedure of law when he was issued a summons in June 2018.
Yeah.
He produced himself, made himself available. He answered all their questions. You can keep debating till the cows come home as to whether they were satisfactory or not, and whether he should have answered in the manner that the CBI was looking for him to have answered. But the fact is, he answered all the questions, and that is something that he's challenging the CBI to prove, that how has he been evasive. So hence the political vendetta angle, hence the political witch hunt accusation which is being leveled by the Congress against the Bharatiya Janata Party and the central government, saying the central government is influencing this probe.
Okay, is influencing this probe, the cloud of vendetta of a witch hunt, Ankit, which has been clinging to everything since yesterday. In the next few minutes, we're going to see this verdict coming out from the CBI court. You had Karti Chidambaram a little earlier, Ankit, praising Abhishek Manu Singhvi and Kapil Sibal, saying their arguments in court was something to be seen. Such things should be recorded and, given to law students who want to know about courtcraft. Tell our viewers what he meant by that, Ankit. What did he mean by that?
Largely, Shiv, the kind of arguments that are put forward, you have to give it, to the senior lawyers.
Yeah.
Yes, there is an X factor that they bring in and gravitas that they bring in when they go to the court. It's not about what the judge decides. It's the way you put forward your case. In fact, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, when he got up for the second round of his arguments, he in fact complimented in a way Abhishek Manu Singhvi, saying that, listen, I can't speak in as eloquent manner as you have in fact put forward your point. I will be very cut and throat. I will be very clear and to the point to what I'm trying to suggest. It is Kapil Sibal and then Abhishek Manu Singhvi who in fact spun this whole case of the CBI by saying that the CBI is not even serious about their own investigation. They don't ask the serious questions, and to which Tushar Mehta in fact replied that will the defense now decide what should be our interrogation and investigation tactic. We will decide when, how, what question we want to ask.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were able to bring up these doubts, but the fact that they were able to put forward, saying that there are people, those who approved this, 6 of them, blue-eyed boys of the current government, nothing you have done to them, but you are now going after a man who's so well respected, who only acted on the advice of 6 senior finance ministry officials. So by bringing all those points in the defense, is something that possibly Karti Chidambaram was referring to.
Yeah.
Another interesting aspect, Shiv, when Karti Chidambaram reached the court before P Chidambaram in fact was brought in, he saw the CBI prosecutors, and in sort of frustration, he said, same script, same story, same drama is being played out without the name in the charge sheet and the FIR. The only difference is that this time it's an AC courtroom. Basically, what he was trying to suggest was he was drawing a parallel with what he went through. It's the same case in which he's the main accused. He was arrested by the CBI. 12 days he went under the custody as far as the CBI is concerned. So he was in frustration, in fact, bringing that thing out before his father came to the courtroom.
Thanks very much, Ankit and Polomi. We're going to come right back to you in the next few minutes when that verdict is out from the CBI court. I'm going to leave it there for the moment. Okay, the wait for Hyundai's grand i10 Neo